The Apple juggernaut set to report their earnings on Thursday. The stock has been on a tear. Get this. Apple's market cap has gone up $80 billion in just since its September low. Let's get the next move with Boris Schlossberg and Max Wolff with BK Asset Management and DTA, respectively. Boris, I'll begin with you. The iPhone 10 demand looks strong. I can't think of many other companies where the more expensive of its products seems to be the highest in demand. The stock has responded. I guess the question I've got is it buy the rumors, sell the news? Do you think it's got more legs in it post-earnings?
No, I actually think very much is sell the news at this point. And I actually think, everybody's focusing on the numbers, but it may be very worthwhile for us to think about feelings at this point. What I mean by that is Apple is a luxury company, and the worst thing that can happen to a luxury company is to lose its cool. And I'm afraid, and I say this very much as an Apple fanboy, Apple has really lost a lot of its cool over the last 2 years because its products have just not been up to spec in many ways. They continue to have problems with OS 11. They have problems with a MacBook Pro. And I think it's going to be very interesting to see if the X really rescues them, if it becomes that cool object or it becomes an object of derision as we go forward. So to me, the jury is very much still out. There's an enormous amount of enthusiasm. They've certainly capped demand because they've obviously, made very, very small amount of supply now. So they created a very good marketing scheme for themselves. But the question is very much open as to whether everybody's going to upgrade. I remain highly skeptical that they're going to get the kind of demand the market is looking for.
Okay, I'll go to I will push back a little bit. If they were not that cool, maybe there wouldn't be the demand for the iPhone 10 or /X, whatever you want to call it. However, that said, we're here to talk about the stock. Max Wolff, would you be a buyer of Apple stock ahead of the earnings?
Yeah, so I'd be pretty cautious about running into the stock, but I wouldn't run away from it. My expectation is that the earnings are good and the holiday season is once again kind to Apple. So I don't think I'd want to be running away from it. That being said, I think there are real and serious problems with iOS 11, with the new operating system. And the problem is that's on all the phones. So people have tended to associate that with the 8 and 8 Plus only, but it's obviously also on the 10. We think the 10 is going to be a big hit. The question is more if 8 and 8 Plus are a little bit of a fizzle. So far, there's a lot of indication that 8 and 8 Plus have two big problems. One, they look, feel, and act an awful lot like 7 and 7 Plus, which removes a lot of the urgency to upgrade, and they've been overshadowed in part by the success of Apple, just to be balanced here, which is the 10. We expect the 10 to be a success, but we don't expect the 8 and 8 Plus to do as well as folks think, which means the average sale price, or ASP, which is an important indicator here, is a little bit weaker than people think. In short, good quarter, a little more headwind after this holiday quarter, we get through it.
Boris, you want to respond? Go ahead.
No doubt that 8 is a fizzle. As a matter of fact, when you look at all the numbers, nobody's upgrading to 8 at this point, and I think it's become essentially a big dud. It's also created a massive amount of confusion. They released essentially 2 products to consumers at the same time, and of course the customers basically decided to hold out for the one that is the most attractive, which is the 10. But the bigger issue, I think, with Apple is that they are losing their fan base. When you look at consumer surveys, they are not the #1 technology company in the world anymore. It's actually Amazon, and they're not even #2, it's Google. So they've lost a lot of that fire and power. And to me, if you're a luxury brand, if you're going to demand a huge amount of premium for your product, you need the fan base to remain adamant. And I think they're losing that. They really need to recapture with 10, and I remain very skeptical they can.
Okay, there you go. The 8, a fizzle. According to Boris Schlossberg there, we'll see if they recapture that with the 10. Boris and Max, thank you very much. Obviously, those Apple earnings very, very widely watched. Thank you. And folks, as always, thank you for watching Trading Nation. We'll see you next time.
Hey there, thanks for checking out CNBC on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of the day's biggest stories. You can also click on any of the videos around me to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.